So there are piezoelectric crystals which, when stimulated in the presence of electric current, it will produce sound. Sound is nothing but alternative compressions and rarefaction. Okay, now this frequency of ultrasound, what we use, this is very important. Okay, 1 to 20 megahertz. Okay, so the numerical as such is not important, but the megahertz is very important for us here. They might ask, what is the frequency of probe which we commonly use? Okay, the most commonly used probes are between 1 to 20 megahertz. What probe should I use for an abdominal ultrasound? What type of probe should I use for an abdominal ultrasound? What probe you will select when you do an abdominal ultrasound? Come on, answer. What frequency probe? What frequency probe? Abdominal ultrasound. Aditya, abdominal ultrasound. What frequency do you select? Aditya, are you sure? Aditya. Okay, we select the low frequency probe. Okay, we select the low frequency probe. And what is the range? 3 to 5. Okay, 3 to 5 for the superficial structures. Okay, superficial structures, specifically for the tendons, the rotator cuff tendons in the shoulder. We use or any tendons or any superficial structures. We use 7 to 13 or even up to 20 hertz probes are present. 18 to 20 hertz probes are present. We can use that. What is the frequency of the probe that we use for transvaginal or transrectal ultrasound? What is the probe that we use for transvaginal or transrectal ultrasound? Okay, good. 5 to 7.5. Both are there in the options. If both are there in the options, what will you answer? If both are there in the options, you will answer 7.5. Okay, good. 7.5 will be the better answer. Okay, so we know we use the term isoechoic, hyperechoic, hypoechoic. So what is this? What is this round structure? Is it iso, hyper, or hypo? What is the round structure? Answer fast. I'll have a lot of abdominal ultrasounds for you. Okay, it's a hyper. Okay, this is hyper. What is the next one? What is this? What will this be? What will this be? This will be good. Hypo. Okay, it will be hypo. Whenever it is less, it is more blacker compared to the. What is this? What is this? Whenever it is more blacker, we call it hypo. Whenever it is more whiter, we call it hyper. And when it is same as adjacent structure, we call it as iso. What is this? What is this? What do you call this as? Okay, this is anechoic. Anechoic. Good. Okay. Resolutions as such not required. So, where do I use this probe? Where do I use this probe for? Now, where do I use this probe? This probe, superficial structures or deep structures? Do I use this for superficial or the deep structures? Yes, the linear probes are usually the high frequency probe. So this is a high frequency probe used for superficial. Where do I use this probe? Where do I use this probe? Where do I use this probe? It's a deeper structure. Good. What about this? What about this? What about this? Yes, this is a transvaginal or transrectal. Okay, transvaginal. This is the one, 7.5 hertz, 5 to 7.5 hertz. But in practical, we might get of different frequency, but you need to know which probe to be selected. Okay, next time, what is this probe? What is this probe? Where do you use this probe? Where do you use this probe? Yes, good. It's used between the ribs. Okay, it is used between the ribs. It is diverging rays from a linear array. So this is the diverging from a pointed source. See, this is used in between the ribs, in between the intercostal spaces to look at the heart. Okay, so that's how the principle. So this is the main principle which I told. Whenever you send the sound waves, whenever I send the sound waves towards the stone, everything will be reflected back. So whatever the reflected is looking hyper. The same thing if I send to the liver, some of them will pass through it, only few will get reflected. So it will become somewhat grayish. When it comes to water, everything will pass through it. So it will appear blacker. Okay. What's the frequency of the one used for the heart, sir? The frequency of the heart is also like that of, it is in between the superficial and the deep probes. Okay. But again, in the heart also, we need depth. Okay, again we have to see the heart till the posterior end. So usually it will be between the 3 to 5 frequency. Okay, 3 to 5 frequency, but it will be like a linear probe with a pointed source. Okay, in chest we don't worry about the depth and stuff like that. We just want a probe which can diverge. Okay, so there will be only one probe. Usually cardiac patients will have only one probe if you have an ultrasound machine. Okay, it's not used by radiologists. It's used by usually the cardiology people used to do the echo. Okay, echo, or pulmonology people will do for the echo. Okay, yeah. So we know the speed of the light. We know the speed of the sound in the tissue, that is 1540 meters per second. In bone and metal it is faster, and in the air and all it is slower. Not important to remember. Just remember that 1540 is the speed. Okay, 1540 meters per second is the speed in the tissue. Okay, now reflection happens based on the difference in the impedance. That's what you have to remember. Okay, now there is, okay, this is just for you one quiz question. See, there is a image. What structure is this? What structure is this? Okay, 1 minute. What structure is this? Yeah, that is liver. Okay, that is the top one is liver. What structure is this? Whatever I'm lining. What is that bright structure? Duct, vessel, capsule. Okay, so what did I tell? What are the few highly reflective surfaces? What are the highly reflective surfaces? So you can see beyond it also. What is the highly reflective surface? Tan, it is not GIT. Okay, so it is diaphragm. What are this called? What is the term that I told for this? What are the structures? What is the term that I used for this? Specular reflector. Good, it's a specular reflector. Okay, so that's why it is looking bright. Okay, it is come like this. Can you see what has happened here? What has happened to the diaphragm? So what has happened to the diaphragm here? Can anyone tell what has happened to the diaphragm? Okay, it is pushed up. Shana is saying pushed up. Shrusti is saying rupture. Is anyone else? Any answers? Hernia, rupture, herniation. See, this one looks like it has ruptured. Okay, this one looks like it has ruptured. Now I'll tell you one thing. Here there is a fat containing structure. Okay, it's a hemangioma. Okay, hemangioma is the most common tumor, benign tumor of the liver. Okay, it's a hemangioma, most common benign tumor of the liver. So this hemangioma contains fat. Okay, hemangioma contains fat. Now what will happen if it contains fat? Whatever the sound is traveling through this area is traveling with lesser speed. Okay, it is traveling at lesser speed. So what the computer assumes, whenever normally the diaphragm is present here, but whatever the sound is which is getting reflected from here is going slower than the normal. Okay, here it is going at 1540 meter per second. Here it is going 1450 meter per second. So what has happened? It has slowed down, but my probe doesn't know this has slowed down. My probe doesn't know that it has slowed down. The time at which the echo is received is late. Okay, delayed time. So what does the probe assumes? The probe assumes that this diaphragm, the reflection, whatever is coming is from here, because it is coming late. Okay, it is coming late. It is supposed to come with along with this. This point was supposed to reflect along with this, but this is coming later. The B point is coming later than the A, because this is fat here in between. It is going slower. So because of that, it is appearing to be tone. So this is what we need to know. Okay, this is what we need to know. Yeah, you change the position of the probe, we can confirm it. Good, Tokyo, that's how you approach. Okay, you change the position of the probe, you try to go through a surface which doesn't contain hemangioma, then you will see this is continuous. Okay, that's how you approach any disease. Okay, this is why I taught you everything about ultrasound. Okay, now you need to start applying it every time. You don't blindly say, okay, there is discontinuous, it is state. You have to see, is there anything which is causing this kind of discontinuous? Is it any kind of artifact? That's what you have to see. Okay, after that you come up with the diagnosis. Okay, yeah. And as we go deeper, what will happen? As we go deeper, the sound will get absorbed, scattered, and reflected. So as I go deeper and deeper, what should happen to the brightness? As I go deeper and deeper, what should happen to the brightness? Decreases. So how did I compensate it? How did I compensate it? How will I compensate it? Time gain compensation. Good. Time gain compensation is how I compensate it. Okay, good. I compensate it with time gain compensation. Okay, everyone's clear with it. 1 minute. Okay. This again the specular reflector. And what is the speciality of the specular reflector? I told it should be always 90 degree. Okay, if it is hitting perpendicular, it gets reflected perpendicular. Exactly like a mirror. Specular means mirror. It reflects the sound like a mirror. Okay, that's what you need to know. So here it is not hitting at 90 degree. It won't look as bright. See here, this is a diaphragm. Even this is the diaphragm, but this part of the diaphragm is not looking white. Why? Because it is not hitting the perpendicular. It is hitting at some angle, so it will get reflected some random directions. So that's important. Okay, yeah, this is the formula that I told. Okay, so what is this? What is this? What is this Z stands to? What is this Z stands to? Impedance. Okay, what is the Z stands to? Impedance. Good. What was the mu standing in case of the CT? What is the mu standing in case of the CT? If anyone remembers, if anyone has attended my CT class. Okay, CT division, I'll do one more class. Okay, so these are the specular. What is this structure? Yes, it is density. Yes, Tokyo, it is density. What is this structure here? What do you think this structure is? Good, this entire thing is uterus. So what is this in the middle of the uterus? What is this structure? What is in the middle of the uterus? What is it looking bright? This entire thing is uterus. Yes, endometrium. Good, endometrium. Why endometrium is looking brighter? Why endometrium is looking brighter? Because endometrium is in a specular reflector. Okay, endometrium is a specular reflector again. It's a specular reflector. Good, it is looking brighter. Now, how will I tell it is? Is it soon after? Is it like? Is it an endometrium? It is immediately after the menstrual bleed, or it is in the secretory or the later stage? Later stage. Is it the earlier stage or the later stage? It's a later stage. Yes, it is a later stage. Why it is later stage? Because why it is later stage? Because it is appearing thicker. Good, good. It is appearing thicker. What mode is this? What mode is this? What mode is this? Down. Good, it is M mode. Okay, good, it is M mode. It's detecting the movement that is happening here. Okay, maximum, the maximum, this is from the diaphragm. See how the diaphragm is moving. So if you have to see the diaphragmatic palsy, what do? If I have to see the diaphragmatic palsy, I put the M mode. What do you expect in the M mode? What do you expect in the M mode? In the diaphragmatic palsy? A straight line. Good, a straight line will be seen. Okay. Okay, so again the different modes. What mode is this? In the orbit, what mode we use? A mode. Good. You stimulate, you get the reflected sound from each level. Initially it is from here. The second line will be from here. The third line will be from here. That's how we get lines. That's what we see in the A mode. Okay, so this is A mode. This is the B mode. You get multiple intensity. This is how we get the B mode. Multiple lines will form one image. Such 60 images can be measured in 1 second. That's how in 1 second 60 images. That means that you are getting a movie. You are not exactly getting image. You're at 1 second, if you're seeing 60 images, that means that with time you are seeing all the changes that is happening in 1 second. That's why this is the real time imaging. Okay, ultrasound is the real time imaging. Nowadays, even in CT and MR, there will be some movement can be observed, can be done by you doing fast imaging. But most important, the best image to see the real time is always the ultrasound. Okay, so what mode is this? If I want to see the heart rate, what mode I'm seeing? Fetal heart rate. If I have to see, what mode should I select? M mode. Good. Okay, so this is how you select different modes. Okay, now this is one more just for interest sake. You don't have to remember this. Okay, so sometimes what exactly do I expect? I expect the sound. This is what my assumptions, my ultrasound machine's assumption is, I send a pulse, it reflects the sound back, I detect this reflection and put a white dot in my image. Okay, now imagine this is what assumption. It goes in a straight line, comes back in a straight line. There is no change in the intensity or the frequency. That's what my assumption is. Now imagine sometimes there will be some, see, this is what an ideal ultrasound machine should be, but we cannot create such ultrasound machines. Sometimes some sound waves will go outside like this. Okay, some sound waves will go outside like this. Now if this gets reflected back to this, to the probe back, if this gets reflected back to the probe back, now what will happen? Even this will be detected as a single point. Okay, now imagine there is a box here, there is a circle here. Now how will the image formed? How will the image will be detected as? Now how will the image, this is how the image will be formed. One rectangular image will be formed. Okay, yes, there will be overlapping of this. Okay, there will be overlapping of these two structures. Contended to see 60 brilliant radio diagnosis consultants of near future. Okay, some comment. Okay, I think. Okay, good. So we are seeing one square and one circle. Okay, both will be mixed. That's how we see. So how will I confirm? Is it like actually distorted or not? I just move the probe. Okay, this is how the probe is. Now it was imaging this part. Now I just move the probe towards the square. There was a square and circle. Now I move the probe towards the square and see. Again, am I seeing the same distortion? You won't be seeing. Okay, so that's what the changes that we will see here. Okay, so that's just for interest sake. Okay, that's how is it a mixed image. Okay, how is it a mixed image? See, again I'll explain that. See, there is a ultrasound probe. Okay, it assume that, so I am sending a pulse, I'm getting a echo back. Now this echo is detected as, okay, I'll draw it as a circle. Now this echo is detected here. Okay, the image is formed. The image formed is a circle. Okay, now there will be one more image, square here. There will be one more image, triangle here. So all of them will be detected in the machine. Okay, so this is what the machine has constructed such a way that whatever sound which is reflected, that is from this path. Now imagine if it is detecting this square at the same area, it's supposed to get this the image from this area, but it is getting a square which is present outside the field. Okay, it's not in the field, it's outside the field. Where will it put this box? This is not in our image field. My image field was supposed to have only these things. Now what will happen if something outside is reflecting a sound and that is detected by the probe? It will put it in some place within the probe wherever it thinks it should be. So it will put that the image in the object in the image in wherever in the field. Okay, because that is just a software. It is not the whatever the reflected sound we get is converted into image by the software. Okay, we call it as analog to digital conversion. Okay, analog to digital conversion. Whatever the analog we get, we convert into digital format, and that digital format will be seen as image. Okay, as just black and white dots. So these two will be coming back to the same place. Actually, they are not in the same place. By some ultrasound, the sound which has deviated from the normal path, reflecting into the probe, Now this will be seen as seeing on the same object, same area. It is coming from the same area. So what does the analog to digital converter think? It thinks that these are coming from the same area. There is one square and a box, so it will just draw it like how it thinks. Okay, it is not like human mind. It doesn't know how to align itself. Okay, sir, how curvilinear probe works, and will that always be mixed images? See, I'll show you how a curvilinear probe works. Okay, so this is how the linear probe was working. So the curvilinear probe has a curved surface. Why did I make it curved surface? So that I am supposed to get wider weave. Okay, so there is one wave here, the second wave here, third wave here, fourth, fifth. It goes like this. Now what will happen? Whatever is there here gets reflected back. 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 Is it mixing anywhere? It is not mixing anywhere. See, everywhere it is getting reflected back to the same position. Okay, 90-degree reflection. Always the reflection happens at 90 degree. The maximum reflection is at a 90 degree. So it is detecting at this point. But if you observe the image properly, okay, understood this point. Now, if you observe the image properly, okay, I'll show you in the probe that there is one difference that you need to know in this. Okay, see, this is the probe. This is how the image is formed. See, everywhere it is coming along the line. Okay, it is coming separately. But what we have to observe is that, imagine if there is a large object here. When it comes closer to the probe, no, it will come closer. There are two objects which are actually separate. There are two objects which are actually separate. But when the image is formed, it is formed very close to each other. So whatever the image is formed from the depth, their resolution will reduce. Okay, there were two separate points. But when the image is formed, two separate points, when the image is formed, they are coming close to each other. So it will lose its resolution. Okay, so this is what we see in the curvilinear probe. Okay, everyone got it? How the curvilinear probe works? Everyone got how the curvilinear probe works? Okay, so there is no overlapping there. Okay, so we reached the artifacts. It's the same thing, the side lobe artifact. So this again the same thing. There is one object here. Okay, it is assumed that this object this is also happening because of some artifact called side lobe artifact. It's also because of some same principle. You're supposed to image only this much part. Now some ultrasound from wave from here has gone cross and it is getting reflection from here. So that is forming a line here. You think, what will we think whenever we see, what do you think this structure is? What do you think this structure is? Everyone, what do you think this structure is? Based on the previous classes. Now I'm not talking about the comet tail artifact. What do you think this structure is? Cyst. Okay, this is a liver. Now you tell me what do you think this structure might be? Good, whoever has told cyst, good. Good, you have got it right. But now I'm telling this is liver here. So what do you think it is? Good, gallbladder. Now forget about this artifact. Now imagine you are seeing like this. And this is slightly thicker. The wall is slightly thicker. What do you think has happened? What do you think has happened? Yeah, what is it called as? What is it called as? Ismail, amoebic, no, it is outside the liver. Okay, it's outside the liver. Okay, so if there is multiple echogenic foci within the gallbladder, thickening of the wall of the gallbladder, it is cholecystitis. Good. Everyone is getting it. So what artifact is this? What is this happening because of? Multiple times reflection of the sound by highly reflective surfaces. Okay, so this is called as reverberation artifact. You're seeing multiple lines. Okay, so this is again comet tail. Comet tail, where do you see comet tail artifact? Where did you see comet tail artifact? What condition? Cholesterol, yeah, lipid, cholesterol. What condition? What condition in the gallbladder which causes this? Laterly, someone had asked the doubt, so I told it. Rokitansky sinus. What cholesterol crystals? Adenomyomatosis, the condition, adenomyomatosis of the gallbladder. Okay, adenomyomatosis of the gallbladder will have the cholesterol crystals within the Ashkoff sinuses. Okay, so good SD. Where do you see ring down artifact? Where did you see ring down artifact? Which structure was giving us ring down artifact in the abdomen? Good Tan. Bubble, good. Everyone's answering really well. Okay, so what do you think this structure might be? 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 Yeah. So that we have crossed the level where we are telling it is water, air, and all that. Now we are trying to tell what part it is. Okay, yeah, good. Deeper to the gallbladder, deeper to the liver, deeper to the gallbladder. There will be usually duodenum. Okay. Sometimes if it is just below the liver, what other structure comes just below the liver? Okay, just below the liver. If you see similar thing, what other structure comes just below the liver? Stomach, more towards the left, more towards the right. One structure. Where does the transverse colon, hepatic flexure, splenic flexure, colon? Good Mahima. Okay, colon can come. You have to think that in terms of anatomy. Okay, so what do you think? Okay, now again, what do you think this structure is? What do you think the structure is? Okay, first, what is this? Okay, what is this? What is the tick thing? Liver. Good, liver. Okay, so see, very easy. First thing is, see, there is something bright line. We always know this is diaphragm. Okay, diaphragm. Next to diaphragm, one solid organ. Which are the two solid organs you know about? Next to diaphragm, which are the two solid organs? Next to diaphragm, which are the two solid organs we know? One is the liver, solid organs, liver and spleen. Okay, liver and spleen. Okay, stomach is not the solid organ, liver and spleen. So this is the diaphragm. This has to be either liver or the spleen. Okay, this has to be either liver or the spleen. Normally liver won't have this huge vessels. Okay, that's what you remember. And this echogenic line, these huge vessels, you won't see. I'll show you one more liver image, that time you will know. Okay, this is first we identify. This is a liver. Okay, so this is a liver. This is diaphragm. So what is this area? What is this area made up of? What is this area made up of? This is liver. This is diaphragm. What is this area made up of? Oppo A57. Is it gallbladder? Oppo A57. Is it gallbladder? Okay, so this is good. Everyone is good. Okay, everyone, it is lung. Good. Okay, that's how you approach. Very simple. If I see liver, if I see diaphragm, opposite to the liver, on the other side of the diaphragm, it has to be lung. Okay, it has to be lung. Now, in the liver, I am telling there is one brighter structure here. In the liver, there is one brighter structure. Based on what I taught you, what do you think it is? Shushti, it is cardiac possible. Okay, cardiac possible, or maximum it will be the liver. Okay, maximum it will be liver. Sorry, lung. I'll show you a cardiac image and I'll tell you how to differentiate. Okay, so this structure, J is telling it's a metastasis. Look, J, I'm telling it is brighter. What structure looks brighter? I told. Which structure was looking brighter in the liver? Good Spurti, fat. What was containing fat? Which I told, most common lesion of the liver, which I told you today in today's class. Most common lesion of the liver. Hemangioma. Good, hemangioma contains fat, looking brighter thing. Okay, hemangioma looking brighter. So this is a hemangioma. Okay, now don't ask why there is no discontinuity here. Not always you get the artifact. Okay, not always you get the artifact. When there is an artifact, you need to know it to differentiate between whether it is an artifact or not. But in this, there is one more artifact that is happening. Okay, I told you this is a good reflector. Okay, this is a good reflector. Fat is also good reflector. That's why it is looking bright. Whereas the diaphragm is a really good reflector. It is a specular reflector. Shana, I am coming to it. Shana, I am coming to it. Okay. Okay, this you need not know. I'm just telling you some extra points just to make you understand some things. That's all. Okay, so this is a good reflector. This is really good reflector. That is a specular reflector. That is diaphragm. Now there is a hemangioma here. Okay, there is an hemangioma here. It was looking bright because maximum it was reflecting. Now sometimes what will happen? This is hemangioma again. The sound, some sound pass through it, gets reflected back by the diaphragm. What will happen again when it hits the hemangioma? It again gets reflected back. Okay, again gets reflected back. Now this reflected sound again hits the diaphragm. Specular reflector reflects back. Now what has happened? What has happened? We are seeing the reflection of this after two reflections. Okay, this is similar to reverberation artifact. Okay, reverberation will happen multiple times. Once it can happen 2 times, then it will happen after 3 times, after 4 times, after 5 times. Okay, like that. Now similar thing, it is similar to reverberation artifact. Imagine now comes to our calculation. This is a pulse, this is a echo. It detected a structure. Now second time I sent a pulse, gets reflected back, diaphragm, it's detected here. Okay, now the third time I sent a pulse, gets reflected back, comes back. Now where is this structure placed? Where is this structure placed? Whatever is reflecting back, where do you think this structure placed? Who will tell me where do you think this structure is placed in the image? Okay, where do you think our machine is placing this structure in the image? Anyone? Yes, it will be somewhere distal to it. Okay, somewhere distal to it. But you need to remember that it will place it equal distance from this. It will place equal distance from this. Okay, equal distance from this. That is the important point. See, both the structures are looking equidistant from this. Okay, it's below that. Good. It is placed equally distance. I think everyone understood. This structure is responsible for this 2-time reflection and coming back. So that is detected as a separate lesion in the lung, but it's not exactly a lesion. It's just a mirror imaging artifact. This is what we call as mirror image artifact, similar to a reverberation. Okay, this is also, again, they might keep these questions. They have not kept such questions as of now, but just remember that this might, you might feel that there is a lesion in the liver, there is a lesion in the lung. Old man, oh, this might be metastasis. This is not a metastasis. First thing we tell, this is not a metastasis. Is it is bright. Okay, metastasis will be blacker. Okay, it will be more blacker. Okay, so this is bright. That's one thing, and it is equidistant from the diaphragm. Think of a mirror image artifact. Again, how do I differentiate this? How do I see that? How do I tell this is not a lesion? You just change the direction of the probe where it is not going through this fat. Okay, so that's a good J. Okay, so if we look more deeper, we might see another lesion like this, but less hyperechoic. Yes, like reverberation, possible. We can see like a reverberation, but less likely. Okay, because it depends on how much sound is reflecting, how much amount of sound is reflecting back. I have to go still more deeper in the physics. Okay, which will be too much. Okay, so now you remember this much enough. Okay, we can see multiple if there is a reflection like reverberation, but it won't happen because there is no enough sound there to reflect so many times. Okay, so that's one more thing. Okay, it's a similar split display. Okay, most important, if you forget anything, I don't mind, don't forget these two things. This is our bread and butter, and this is what you all will have to pick up to be really good at what you do. Sometimes you will have a patient severe right hypochondriac pain or right flank pain, loin to groin radiating pain. Patient comes with vomiting. What do you think? Patient loin to groin pain, patient is having vomiting. What do you think? Loin to groin pains. That's very important. Not cholelithiasis. Okay. Good. Renal calculus. That's why I put a gallstone and asked a question of kidney stone. Okay. That's a typical history. Loin to groin radiating pain with the vomiting. We always think of intermittent type of pain. Think of renal calculi. Just keep a probe and we will get the diagnosis. You will see the same picture. You'll see the same picture. What do you think this is? This is nothing but, what do you think this structure is? Aditya, this is not pancreas. Okay. See, first thing is you have to see this. You have to see this. This is the, what is this structure? Liver. Okay, deeper to the liver, gallbladder. Okay, gallbladder is there. Okay, gallbladder. Inside the gallbladder, echogenic structure, which is casting shadow. I have explained this last time. Remember, it's nothing but the gallstones. Okay, this is nothing but the gallstones. Okay, is it cholecystitis? Is it calculus cholecystitis? Anechoic is any cyst or anything which contains water is always anechoic. Okay. Ayush, you have any doubt? Yeah, Srushti, it contains cholesterol, but not crystal. It's a dissolved cholesterol. It is fluid. Okay. In the gallbladder, we will not have crystalline cholesterol. We have fluid inside it. It is nothing but a soluble fluid. Okay. It contains fluid. Sometimes what will happen, the as sludge, we call it as sludge. That is nothing but if the gallbladder is not drained for a long time, what will happen? The cholesterol start depositing. Now, how it will look? If there is cholesterol deposited here, how it will look? Cholesterol deposited in the gallbladder. That is cholesterol crystal, Melvin. Cholesterol crystal will cause that artifact. Okay, Melvin Mabin, cholesterol crystal will cause the artifact. I'm telling just the cholesterol is deposited. The soluble cholesterol is deposited, settling down. It will appear as hyperechoic. It will look same as conglomerate such stones. Okay, multiple such stones. If it is lying down, it looks exactly same. How do I differentiate a cholesterol deposition from the stone? How do I differentiate a cholesterol deposition from a stone? Chennai, cholesterol comet tail is seen only in the crystal. It is specifically seen in adenomyomatosis. Okay, it is not seen otherwise. Okay, how do I see irregular surface is what HDCs. Okay, difficult to demonstrate irregular surface. Okay, when there is conglomerate multiple stones, shadowing is what we see. Okay, see this is the image that's why I have put. See how nicely stone. What did I tell about the stone? If I keep a stone, send a sound, all the sound is reflected back. No sound is going beyond it. Okay, so we will see this post-acoustic shadowing. Okay, post-acoustic shadowing is seen in case of crystal, but it is not seen in case of a cholesterol deposit. We call it a sludge. In the reports, you will see something called as sludge. Okay, sometimes this kind of shadowing will not be clear. Okay, this kind of shadow will not be clear. The consultant may not be able to differentiate whether it is a cholesterol deposition or the stone. Don't blame the consultant. Sometimes happens. Okay, we cannot differentiate this shadowing clearly because of bowel shadow that this. Okay, so that's, I just told you to differentiate a sludge from a stone. Okay, here there is no reverberation for cholesterol deposition. Lavanya, that artifact which I was telling, the comet tail artifact which I was telling was for the cholesterol crystals. And reverberation, see, it has to meet all the criterias. Okay, there should be two highly reflecting surfaces and then it has to hit. See here, there is what cholesterol deposition. Beyond that, we are not seeing anything. Even if there is reverberation, we will not see anything because everything is looking white. Okay, we will not see deeper to it much because there is bowel here. So you will not see the artifacts everywhere. Okay, we just need to know that these artifacts are possible, and when that artifact happens, I need to differentiate it. Okay, and artifacts are not always it may not be always seen. So what do you think this structure is? I taught you last class. What do you think this structure is? Lavanya, I think you're clear with what I said. What do you think this structure is? Yeah, that is liver. Inside the liver, what is this structure? It's a cyst. Good, it is a cyst. Why did you all of you say it is a cyst? Because it is causing this increased through transmission. Okay, I explained you why it happens. Why do you think this is not a cyst? Why do you think this is not a cyst? Why do you think this is not a cyst? Why are these structures not cysts? Yeah, it is not a perfect circle. Okay, usually if you try focusing, you will not see a proper circle. Okay, the shape. Good. Now tell me which one is a tumor and which one is cyst. Which one is tumor, which one is cyst? Is this a tumor? Is the breast imaging, is this a tumor or is this a tumor? Is A tumor or is B a tumor? Is A a cyst or is B a cyst? B is a tumor. Good. B is a tumor. Okay. A is a cyst. B is tumor. Good, everyone. Good, 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 good. I think now you can start doing your ultrasound. Okay. Yeah. Doppler principles I told you. Now, is there what is the, like, tell me the amount of flow? What is the velocity of the flow in this, in the systolic peak systolic flow? Tell me what is the peak systolic flow in this image? Peak systolic flow based on our Doppler classes. What is the peak systolic flow? Okay, around 100. Okay, around 100, 110, around 100, 110. Okay, good, good. What is the peak diastolic flow? Peak diastolic flow. Good, around 40 to 30 to 40, 30 to 40. Good, good, good. Okay, is there a reversal of diastolic flow? Is there the reversal of diastolic flow? Reversal of diastolic flow. Is there reversal of diastolic flow? There is no reversal of diastolic flow. Is there a point in which the flow stops? Is there a point in which the flow stops in the blood vessel? Is there a point at which the flow stops in the blood vessel? There is no point. There is where there is stopping of the flow. Okay. Where do you see subclavian steal syndrome? 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 It's not my topic though. Then where do you see subclavian steal syndrome? Yes, can see. Okay. So 1 minute. Black screen. See, this is the subclavian artery, and there will be the vertebral artery. Imagine this is where the vertebral artery is going. Okay. Now imagine if there is a stenosis here, or if there is a block here. Normally, which direction? If this is the vertebral artery, this is the aorta. This is aorta here. Now, which direction we expect the blood to flow in the vertebral artery? We expect the blood to flow the forward direction. Okay, we expect the blood to flow in the forward direction. Now, if there is a block in this the subclavian vessel, now what will happen? The vertebral artery, the blood will start coming from the opposite vertebral artery to this vertebral artery, and then it enters the subclavian. This is called a subclavian steal syndrome. Why is it called subclavian steal syndrome? Because it is stealing the blood which was supposed to go to the brain. Okay, so that's called subclavian steal syndrome. What? Where do I use HIFU? What is HIFU is used for? What is HIFU used for? What is HIFU used for? It is, yes, high intensity focused ultrasound. Nowadays they started to treat the various diseases. Okay, tumors and various diseases. Now what has happened to the velocity here? What has happened to the velocity here? What has happened to the velocity? There is increased velocity. Okay, there is increased velocity here. There is increased velocity. Good. What has happened to the flow here? What has happened to the flow? Flow has become turbulent flow. It has become turbulent flow. Okay, what has happened to the flow here? What has happened to the flow here? If I say this is CCA, this is ECA, common carotid artery, external carotid artery, internal carotid artery. Where is the stenosis in this? Where is the stenosis in this? Where is the stenosis in this? It is seen in the ICA. Okay, this is the plaque here. The plaque is even present in the bulb carotid. This is the carotid bulb. It is even seen in the bulb. It is extending into the ICA and causing maximum stenosis, which is causing the turbulent flow. Okay, so that's how you see. Okay, any stroke patient comes, you can do this. Okay, you just have to keep the probe. Which probe will you keep here? Which probe will you select and keep here? Which probe? Which frequency? What frequency probe? Linear probe or curvilinear probe? L or C? Linear probe or curvilinear probe? Good, everyone. Linear probe. Someone told curvilinear probe. Correct yourself. Okay, it's a linear probe. Good. What is present in this image? What is present in this image? Plaque is present. And how much percentage of stenosis might be there? Less than 50% or more than 50%? Or less than 75% or more than 75%? Less than 75 or more than 75? It's more than 75. Good, good. That's all you need to know. Okay, you need to know how much is the stenosis. Okay, there is, okay. This, if I say, 1 minute. I hope you have not read this. Okay, now this is the linear probe which is kept on the thigh. Okay, the linear probe is kept on the thigh. Now what has happened? What do you think these two structures are? If this is artery, what is this? Okay, so this is vein. What has happened to the vein? How the vein is supposed to look? How the vein is supposed to look? How is the vein supposed to look? Okay, vein is supposed to look anechoic. Good, Aditya, good. Okay, vein is supposed to look anechoic. Good. Okay, it is supposed to look anechoic. So what are you seeing instead of anechoic thing? Okay, you are seeing something echogenic structure within. One thing. Okay, one more thing is whenever you see look for deep venous thrombosis, you do one thing. There is artery, there is vein. Okay, what I do, I keep the probe here and I compress it. Okay, I compress it. Now when I compress it, what will happen? The vein will collapse, artery will remain this. This is called as the winking sign. Okay, it's called as winking sign. Winking sign. Now, is this statement true or false? Winking sign suggests that DVT is present. True or false? Winking sign suggests that DVT is present. True or false? Good. Winking sign is present. It is not DVT. Now imagine if I say that winking sign is absent. When I compress this, it is not compressing. Both are looking to circle, both open eyes. Now this suggests DVT, true or false? Yes, it is true. It is DVT. Okay, so that's very important. That's the winking sign that we see in the DVT. Now this is also called as a winking sign. What is winking here? What is winking here? What is winking here? Can you see two eyes? Can you see two eyes? Can you see two eyes here? Can everyone see two eyes in every vertebral body? Not renal vessels. Can you see this? 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 These are the eyes made by pedicles. Okay, pedicles are responsible for this. So what has happened here? Observe properly based on whatever the X-ray knowledge you have. Okay. Yeah, facets. Okay, correct. It's a facet. So what has happened to this in this area? What has happened to this? Melvin, good. But what has happened in this image? It is not seen. The bone here is not seen. Okay, the bone here is not seen. See here, this much area, the bone is not seen. So what has happened? In the place of bone, something is grown. Some soft tissue material is grown here. That is nothing but the metastasis sometimes appears like this. This is what we see, the winking eye sign. Okay, so one more winking eye for you just to remember. Okay, I have taught you all this. So what is this? What do you think whenever you see like this? What do you think? What do you think? This is a blood vessel. This is a blood vessel. Outside the blood vessel, you are seeing like this. What is it? Outside the blood vessel, you are seeing some color taking up of the color. Yes, it is similar to the thrill that you feel when you palpate a stenosis. Okay, it is the thrill that you palpate the stenosis. Okay. Yeah, it can be blooming artifact, but I'm just telling you in pathological conditions. Okay, blooming artifacts also won't be this clear. It will be almost slightly outside, and it will be homogeneous. If it is usually like this grainy appearance with proper settings, and you are just seeing this, search for a stenosis anywhere. It is nothing but the vibration of the tissue. Okay, I taught you last time. Okay. So if this is an imaging of eye, if I can zoom it. Okay. Okay, if this is the imaging of eye, what do you think this area is? What do you think this structure here is? What do you think this structure here is? Can you see my marking? Is the orbit? Yes, this is the anterior wall of the lens. This is the posterior wall of the lens. So what is this structure here? What is this area? Vitreous. Good. Okay, so that's how you image. That's very simple. Now you started learning how to do an ultrasound. Good. Okay. Now see, imagine if I see some dots here. Oh, sorry. If I see some white structure here, what do you think it is? Some white structure here. Good. Vitreous hemorrhage. What else it can be? Vitreous hemorrhage. What else it can be? Yes. If I see dots here, it is floaters. If I see dots here, it is floaters. Vitreous hemorrhage. What is? Yes, tumors, retinal tumors. Okay, retinal tumors can appear like that. Okay, this is how you do. What mode is this? What mode is? What mode is this? Tan. What mode is this? Melvin, what mode is this? Ayush, are you sure A mode? Tan, Melvin, Ayush. Yes, it is B mode. I was showing till now. Said why optic nerve anechoic. So optic nerve is not clearly seen in this image, but that's where it present, because there will be optic disc will be there, which will be highly reflective. Again, if you change the probe direction, you can see the optic nerve echoic. Okay, it all depends on how you place the probe. Okay, there are a lot of artifacts which are involved in this. Is hemorrhage? It will be anechoic. Okay. Now, what do you think this is? What do you think this is? Okay, first you tell, what do you think this is? What do you think this is? See, there is something which is stuck here, which is come off. It's a detachment. Good retinal detachment. Okay, one more. It's an off the MCQ. Okay, if any image which appears like this, okay, it is choroidal detachment. Any image which appears like this, it is retinal detachment. From the optic disc, it will radiate outside. This is retinal detachment. Two biconvex on either side, it is choroidal detachment. If anything which looks like this, it's vitreous detachment. Okay, three things. This is choroidal detachment, retinal detachment, vitreous detachment. Okay, three detachments. Remember. Okay, this is a retinal detachment. This is how the vitreous will be detaching. Okay, from the posterior. It can be anywhere from the posterior surface. Retina usually will not detach from the optic disc, because optic disc is holding it tightly here, because the fibers are going along the optic nerve. Okay, that's what you remember. This is again optic hemorrhage. Okay, this is optic hemorrhage. These are the floaters. Okay, it's not important though. Now let's see something about the lung. So what are these structures here? What are the lines? What are the lines? What are the arrows pointing at? What do you think the arrows are pointing at? Okay, these things. What is this and what are these two that you have to tell me? This is, what is this echogenic line? Is a, okay, 1 minute, I'll show you better image. I have, yeah. This is a curvilinear probe. I have kept the curvilinear probe. There are two things here, not allowing the light to pass through it. See, sound to pass through it. There is this bright structure allowing the sound to pass through it. So what what are these two structures? What is this structure? Okay, so what are the two structures here? This is the ribs. Good, these are the ribs. Okay, now deeper to the ribs, something which is some line you are seeing. This is the pleura. Correct, ribs and pleura. Good, ribs and pleura. That's one thing you need to remember. So this appears like a bat wing. Okay, it looks like a bat. It's called bat wing appearance. Now the probe is kept parallel to the intercostal space or perpendicular to the intercostal space. The probe is kept parallel or perpendicular. Good, it is kept perpendicular. Okay, that's what you have to understand. This echogenic line represents what? It is nothing but the pleura. Okay, parietal and visceral pleura meet there. Okay, now these are something called B lines, which we'll see in the interstitial edema. Okay, normally such one or two lines can be seen. More than 3 lines in one intercostal space suggests it is an interstitial edema. It is also a reverberation artifact which is happening because of the air will be present in the terminal bronchus, but the alveoli will be filled with the fluid, and the surrounding interstitia will, sorry, not alveoli, the surrounding interstitia will be filled with fluid. Next, bronchus and alveoli will be having air. Surrounding interstitium will be filled with fluid. Next, again, surrounding alveoli and the bronchus will be having air. So because of this, there will be the reverberation artifact which is created. Okay. Otherwise, there will be not much space between the two alveoli. Okay. Understand why these B lines are coming. Did you understand why the reverberation is happening? Because in between the alveoli and the interstitial space, now there will be some separation by the fluid. Okay. Interstitial space will fill with the fluid. Now there is an interface between fluid, air, fluid, air. So we are getting this B lines, perpendicular lines running from the pleura. These are called as B lines, which are happening because of the reverberation between the alveoli and the interstitial. This is what we see in the interstitial edema. Okay, this is what is in the interstitial edema. Okay. Okay. Now the other thing was this. Now, what do you think this structure is again? If I say this structure, what do you think this structure is again in this image? For everyone who is saying ribs, see the behind it. See behind it. Is it ribs now? Tell me that, is it ribs? You have to interpret based on all the concepts that I have taught you. I have taught you only the concepts, nothing to mug up. So you just have to apply it every time. So I'm asking this bright structure, you are telling ribs. It is not ribs. You see distal to it. What do you think here might be, which is not seen clearly? Might be ribs. Okay, because it is looking black. Here it is not ribs because it is looking bright. Now one more thing, what happens is, now this is the bright structure. This is a bright structure. Now see, what is the speciality of these two lines? What is the speciality of these two lines? These lines are coming from equal distance, equidistant. So what do you think this might be? What do you think this might be? It is a artifact which is created by the repeated reflection that is happening on the pleura. Okay, repeated reflection that is happening on the pleura is giving similar to mirror image artifact. Okay, it is not called mirror image artifact, it is called A lines. Okay, A lines. When there is normal lung, there is normal pleura. I see this artifact. This is called as A line. Imagine if there is air if there is pneumothorax. Okay, if there is pneumothorax, will I see this A line? Will I see this A line? You will not see the A line. Okay, because there is no normal lung. This was created by normal lung and the pleura. Now, will I see this bright pleural line when there is pneumothorax? Will I see this bright pleural line? Tokyo, okay, yes, or Mahima, okay. See, you will see some ecogenic area, but you will not see this bright pleural line. I'll show you the dynamic image of the bright pleural line, okay. See, now when what mode is this? Now what mode is this? What mode is this? This is M mode. Okay, this is M mode. So in the M mode, you are seeing one bright line. What line corresponds here? The bright line is same as, the bright line here is same as the pleura. Good. The bright line is same as the pleura. Now deeper to it is normally lung. Normally when the lung is present, the patient is breathing, there is continuous movement happening. See how the image is grainy. It is not from the same place. The lung is continuously moving. So the image is also continuously moving. So it appears grainy. Okay. These two things you are very important to remember. See this. What do you think this is happened? What do you think this has happened? Now in this image, same area, there's different patient. Instead of grain, you are seeing just straight lines. Okay, you are seeing the straight lines. Yes, Sahana, good, you are going based on the concept. There is no movement. Why there is no movement? Why there is no movement? Why there is no movement? Because there is no lung. Because there is no lung. Okay, there is, and see how bright the lines are. Some people are telling pleural effusion. See how bright the lines are. Will the fluid reflect so bright lines? Will the fluid reflect such bright lines? Will the fluid reflect such bright lines? It is not fluid. What will reflect so bright lines? Applied same as your clinical examination. Okay, same as clinical examination. Navya, fibrosis, still there is lung, still there will be some movement. Yes, most of you are getting it. Something which is very reflecting, which is causing lung, not, there is no moving lung. Instead of that, there is something very reflecting. It is a pneumothorax. Okay, you should never forget this. Okay, after knowing this, you should never forget this. You know why it is bright. You know why it is straight lines. Straight lines because it is not moving. Bright line is because it is air. So what do you think it is? It is nothing but a pneumothorax. Okay, it is nothing but a pneumothorax. Continuously, anywhere it is hitting, it is getting reflected. Air is reflecting all the sound back. Okay, and that is appearing this multiple straight lines, and this is nothing but, as someone told, it is a stratosphere spine. Okay, stratosphere sign or barcode sign. Okay, stratosphere sign, the barcode sign. If an MCQ comes, stratosphere sign, barcode sign, it is pneumothorax. Okay, if you get this image, you should never make a mistake again. Okay, so this is nothing but pneumothorax, and this is a normal lung. And what is this? Why is it called seashore sign? This is called seashore sign. See, this grainy area is called as sand. It looks like sand. See these multiple lines here, which is coming from the tissues outside. Okay, these multiple lines are caused by the soft tissues. This looks like waves, sea waves. This is sand. This is nothing but seashore sign. Okay, this is nothing but a seashore sign. Okay, what do you think this in this diagnosis? Tell me, what do you think there is diagnosis? It's whoever is telling complete diagnosis has understood. Okay, liver is not appearing brighter because of some the angulation is not proper. Forget about the liver. Okay, there is, what is this structure? Now first tell me, what is this structure? What is this structure? It's a diaphragm. Good, it's a diaphragm. Now what do you think this structure is? What do you think this structure is? What do you think this structure is? It's lung. Okay, it is lung. It's above the diaphragm. Now, can you see that inside the lung there are very bright areas? Okay, inside the lung there are very bright areas. Some very bright areas. Okay, 1 minute. Don't hurry. Okay, don't hurry. I'll tell you how to approach. Okay, so there is a lung. Okay, inside that there are very bright structures. Okay, and is this lung looking like normal lung, or is it looking more like a liver kind of picture? Not exactly like liver, but like a solid organ. Is it looking like any other lung image that we saw, or is it looking more like a solid organ? It's looking more like a solid organ. Okay, it's looking more like a solid organ. Okay, so okay, understood. So this much you understood. So it is not a normal lung. That's the first thing you have to diagnose. The second thing that you have to see is, can you see these are bright structures within this solid appearing lung? What do you think a bright structure within the solid appearing lung might be? What is the bright structure that is inside the solid appearing lung might be? Okay, it is air. Okay, it is air. It is air inside the bronchi. Yes, it is called as air bronchogram. Okay, I think you have studied lung chest X-ray beautifully, so you know why exactly air bronchogram comes. Okay, yeah. So these are air. Okay, these are air inside the bronchus. Now, what are the two possibilities you think? What do you think? Lung is looking like a solid organ. Inside that, you are seeing something white structures. What do you think has happened to the lung? What do you think the lung has happened to the lung? Any possibilities? Hepatization in pneumonia. Some are telling atelectasis. It can be both, right? It can be both. Okay. Interstitial pathology. Yeah, somewhat. But interstitial pathology, what are we expecting in interstitial? Okay. Now let's keep the DDs. Some are telling consolidation. Some are telling hepatization, collapse. Some are telling it is interstitial pathology. Okay. Now this much other DDs. Now this is the lung. This is the chest wall. What is there in between? What is there in between? If you answer first, we can finish today itself, ultrasound. Or should it's already late? I'll take till 9:30. Is that fine, everyone? Is that fine if I take till 9:30? Okay. 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 Now answer this. So what do you think this, what do you think this structure is? What do you think this area is? This is good, it is fluid. Now tell me, out of this, which is excluded? Which is excluded out of this? Out of our options, which one did we exclude? Okay, where is the fluid? What is this? What is the term? What is the diagnosis? If you see fluid here, what is it called as? This fluid. Pleural effusion. Out of these three structures, these three things, which and all will have pleural effusion? In interstitial edema, in interstitial pathology, will we usually have pleural effusion? Less likely. Okay. Okay, less likely in interstitial pathology, like interstitial initial stages, no. Congestive cardiac failure, later stages, we might get pleural effusion. But initial stages, just pulmonary pathologies like pulmonary pneumonia and all will not get. Consolidation, we always get effusion. It's called as syn pneumonic effusion. I thought you studied in chest imaging. Okay, it's called syn pneumonic effusion. Okay, syn pneumonic effusion. Okay, that's what we see in consolidation. Sometimes effusion can cause collapse, so both can be the possibility. Okay, so both can be the possibility. This based on the history. Now the patient has come with last 3 days of cough and expectoration with the green color sputum, all that. If there is or yellow colored sputum, then you think of consolidation. Chronic chest pain, there is little chronic chest pain, the patient has come like this, then you think in terms of the collapse, which has the effusion, which might be because of the TB or something, and then it has caused this collapse. Okay, so you just interpret images that way. So you are seeing air bronchogram. Sometimes this pleural effusion also causes air bronchogram. Remember one thing, okay, not, yes, air bronchogram is seen in consolidation, not always. Okay, a collapse which is caused by the compression, external compression, can also give air bronchogram. Okay, external compression can also give air bronchogram. Yes, see, I think you have understood the principle of air bronchogram. Air bronchogram means that multiple alveoli are present. Okay, multiple alveoli are present. There is infection which is causing the fluid to fill in the alveoli. Instead of going along the bronchioles, okay, some terminal bronchioles are all involved. Okay, not all the bronchioles will be involved. There is one more phenomenon that is called as pores of Kohn. Okay, there are something called as pores of Kohn, which spreads the infection between the alveoli. It spreads the infection between the alveoli. So all the alveoli gets filled with fluid. The bronchioles, some of the terminal bronchioles also might be filled, but some distal bronchioles may not be filled. So that's why we are seeing this interface between the alveoli and the bronchus, which is seen as air bronchogram. Now, what will happen whenever there is obstructive collapse? I can understand. Okay, so imagine this is lung, this is the bronchus, obstruction. Okay, complete obstruction. The air, all the air gets absorbed, so everything gets collapsed. So there is no air bronchogram. Okay, imagine now the second situation. There is bronchus, there is alveoli. I am compressing this alveoli from outside. what will happen? Alveoli might collapse. Sometimes this also will give air bronchogram because it is not the obstruction which is causing. Okay, sometimes it can be caused. Okay, but yeah, for just for exam purpose, yeah, air bronchogram always think in terms of consolidation. Okay,